Yo, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another episode of All You Can Eat Chelsea. Big up your damn selves. Lateness is greatness because Younes, the man of the moment, has arrived because that video has dropped and you make sure you check it. I'm going to check it as well as soon as this is all wrapped up. Jose Mourinho stacked. All parting ways with Roma, whichever way they'd like to politely put it, but he is now available. But before we get into all of that, Miz, brother, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, bro. Good. It's crazy how victory once again changes the mood of certain parts of the fan base. But I'm not moved yet. And I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about that. So yeah, well, today is about Jose, I suppose.
Yeah, at least the first part of this.
Yeah.
Younes, brother, this is your guy. He's now available. The stars have almost aligned. How are you feeling?
I'll be honest. I wasn't. It's like I said in the video that I put out. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised. Like, he was coming to the end of his contract, so I thought they would just go to the end and then that's it. You know what I mean? And they're gonna have to. I'm guessing they want to salvage the season and try and get something, which is fair enough. I understand. And they're gonna have to pay his contract anyway, so they probably thought we might as well just change it now. If he's leaving, he's leaving. Might as well change it now. So there's that. But yeah, direction, destination, Heathrow. London, and I'll be we'll do what the Arsenal fans do on plane watch, should we? Just wait for it to land.
Bro, I'm telling you,
it is interesting. Like, what will be his next move? I would want Jose to just chill for a little bit. Just watch and see where things are going. Don't jump into anything. Just watch where things are going, not just for Chelsea Football Club, but for any other clubs. But yeah, don't just jump into it because might be something available at Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
I think the next move for him, if I was thinking about what I think is best for Mourinho, would be international level. I think that the quality of international managers is lower, and I think it's obviously less work. And I think he could potentially revive his status in international. I could see him winning something internationally, to be honest.
No, you know what? I agree, but not yet.
Yeah, I also
we have to remember he is still for a manager. He is still young. Well, not young, but he's at an average age. He's not old. And he's publicly said that he will end his career with that, and he's not at the end. He's not at the end. And look, I want to compare with Carlo. Yeah, when Carlo had Everton, he went to the level below and went to Everton. Or he had Napoli, and he got them up to second one season and then finished seventh. Like, there's clubs at the tier below that you go to, even if you're a top manager. Maybe you just don't have the resource. You just don't belong there. You can only do what you can do. But you end up at a top club again. As long as you got resource and backing. Mate, look at Carlo now. Did you see the other night against Barcelona? That was ridiculous.
Yeah. So
if Mourinho ends up at a top club, status will be elevated back immediately. Not a problem. You go back and you look at the Man United, where it went left because their strategy was all over the place, and then he went to Tottenham. Let's be honest, that is level below. we can have a giggle about that as well because it's Spurs. And maybe we're in a situation we're in now, so we can't laugh at it so much. But in terms of general understanding, Spurs are Spurs. And Roma, you're looking at Inter Milan and AC and these guys, Juventus, that are, and even they're not at the top level because financially Italian football's suffering. So if he goes to a top club again, he'll be winning things, man. I have no doubt about it.
People talk about his image being tarnished. What are we talking about? Like, what tarnish? I don't understand that. Like, just because he hasn't won a league title, he's done well predominantly wherever he's gone. Even at Roma, like, he's won a trophy with Roma. He should have won the Europa League as well last season against who was it? Ajax or was it PSV? We did the watch along. Remember?
I think it's PSV. Yep. I think it's PSV.
Or Sevilla. I think it was Sevilla, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was it?
It should have been Roma. Sevilla. Like, Roma were robbed in that particular final. Like, it was clear to see. Prior to that, he made it to the final for Spurs, then got sacked. I've got no doubts if Spurs actually kept him, they probably would have won something out of Jose. Prior to that, at Man United, I'm pretty sure he got silverware there as well.
Yeah, he got two. I think he got Carabao Cup and
Carabao
Europa
Cup
League.
and Europa League as well. So I don't know what this whole tarnish of his image business is about. Like, he's not relegated anyone. And look where we are for the past almost 2 seasons, flirting with relegation. So I just wanted to put it out there. Like, for some reason, people just have this very, very negative perception on Jose Mourinho. Like, he's a nobody.
Would you take him? If forget about realism
100%.
for a second, like if the board would agree to it and everything was all patterned in terms of the finances, in terms of approach on transfers and everything, would you trust him to take us back to the position of at least being respected and whatnot?
100%. That's without a question. This guy Matisse, he understands this football club. Do you know what I'm talking about? Tell me one footballer at Chelsea Football Club, forget about footballer, tell me one personnel at Chelsea Football Club right now actually understands Chelsea, actually is able to write a paragraph about Chelsea. This guy, Jose Mourinho, can write a novel about Chelsea. Do you understand? Like, he is Mr. Chelsea. Like, he understands this club inside out. He'll come in. He'll actually be able to instill that mentality that we lack at the moment. Of course, as you said, there's a lot of other factors that need to fall into place. Him just coming in with this current squad ain't going to work out. We do need to give him maximum 2 to 3 experienced, well-rounded players at the highest level. Do you know what I mean? We can't just expect him to do wonders with some of the young kids that we have. So there needs to be a change of philosophy. But we always wanted that. As a fan base, we never wanted a youthful team, like a full-on youth team, spend £1 billion. None of us wanted our owners to spend £1 billion. So whatever they've been doing so far, it's not really worked out for 2 seasons. We can understand that it didn't work out in the first season. In the second season, now we are starting to see something. But that's not the case. We are still lingering around 8th, 9th, 10th position. Do you know what I mean? So someone like Jose Mourinho, I wouldn't think twice, man, honestly. I really wouldn't, for the time being.
You know, I want to add, I think I completely understand the concern of would it work with this team and the profile of players that we have in the squad. You'd be an idiot to ignore that 100%. And this is coming from me, right? Considering, I'd take Jose back tomorrow, not a problem. But I think there's one advantage that you can have by putting yourself ahead of everyone else in the league, except for City and Liverpool, right? When it comes to this. And that's being able to turn boys into men. I think with the mentality that Jose brings in, even on a footballing level or tactical level, if there are flaws, there are things that I think that can be instilled into this team that these players will be able to carry forward after Mourinho, even. Say if Mourinho left after 2 years, right? Cool. But there's things that these players will pick up and learn at the young age that they are at and they haven't been exposed to yet. If they're serious about, after games we hear, they come on social media, we're going to bounce back, we want to win, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. If you mean it, trust me, Mourinho will get it out of you. And as long as that lasts, But even after that, say if Jose lasted 2 or 3 years as he normally does, which even for us is still our longest run with a manager that we seem to get nowadays anyway. If he were to depart, there are values that I think instilled in these players after that they can't get rid of. And that will help us even with another manager coming in. Then you can start looking tactically and what will be best in terms of how to properly get them on a footballing level to click. But I think there will be things that would work in the short term that we need to address right now that will help us going forward into the long term, instead of just thinking about the long term only and just going, we'll sacrifice the next season or two, not a problem, because in 5 years we're going to kill it, when there's no guarantee of that. Miz was talking about Jose coming in and really identifying with everyone, showing them what Chelsea is. And I agree, but it's also about what it actually takes to win. And these players don't know yet. Let's be honest. Maybe except Enzo, who's done it once at the World Cup. There's a lot of these players, and obviously the Champions League winners that we've got, Reece James, Chilwell and whatnot. But apart from that, all these new signings we've got, they don't know a thing about actually going to go and get the trophy or trying to push and what it takes. Mourinho will be able to at least get that side covered on a mentality, on a bringing a club back to a respectable level, as you said. And then we can go from there, because the way that we're operating now is just, this is dangerous. This territory is dangerous. We can't keep lingering here. We bring ourselves to a respectable level, and then we can kick on from there. Mourinho, I think, will be able to do that at least. And then after that, we can see what happens. But for me, in the short term, it would be a no-brainer.
The thing is, I don't think there's many times I question the mentality of the team is definitely questionable, but I also think it's not going to change the world. I think even if these guys were hungry for wins, I still think their technical deficiencies and their lack of game experience is what really hinders them, in terms of they make the incorrect decisions so often. It just tells me that they don't have experience at the highest level.
Yep.
And Mourinho has that experience, but I don't think he can just transfer it to them on the pitch just like that. Like it would take time for them to, and that's what Chelsea don't 100%. Give his time. 6 months in, if Mourinho hasn't got this team mentality monsters and we're still lingering in poor position, people will be calling for his sacking.
No, it's not just about wanting to get these players to automatically transform like right now. No, what Miz said is correct as well. We still need to bring in those 2 or 3 players that are going to complement them and add to that leadership and that experience. And we need to build a spine. In the same way he done it in 2004, and in the same way he done it in 2013, is the same way we need it done now, even if it involves a couple of the players we got now. But we need some leadership and some experience in that's going to help translate what you've just asked from the manager to the rest of the squad and show them what it takes and what needs to be done. If we don't do that, I agree, this will go nowhere. And this is where we have to question the model of the club and the board and whether they're willing to change direction or make adjustments to what they've done so far. And if they do that whilst bringing Mourinho in, cool. If they don't do that and bring Mourinho in, what we've seen from Mourinho at Roma the last few weeks is what we've seen previously towards the end at Spurs, his end at Real Madrid, his end at Chelsea, even his end at Inter Milan. When it was rosy with Inter Milan, that could not have been a better partnership between Inter and Jose. They loved each other. But he had a problem with Italian football and the Italian media, and he was kicking off. He's starting to do this and getting sent off. And this, when you start seeing all these antics, it means he's not happy. We know this. It's been 20 years of evidence to show us, and he's done it with us as well. If everything's rosy, you're not seeing those antics, best believe he's in a happy place. It would be crucial for the Chelsea ownership to know that the model has to fit with bringing Jose in, because if it doesn't, you're going to be seeing these antics on another level. And he'd probably expose them if at worst, he'd kick off on another level, because you have to take into consideration there is one thing here compared to other clubs that Jose has with Chelsea, and that's that connection, that history, that there is a link between Jose and Chelsea compared to Jose and Roma or anyone else, which he doesn't have. So that would play a part as well. The model has to be correct here if we were to bring in Jose. I completely agree.
Just to add a few things off the back of what Matisse said as well, that the one thing I fully believe Jose would, and I understand what Matisse said, like the players still make mistakes, this, that, the other. One thing I truly feel, honestly, I truly believe in this. Jose, if he was to come back, the grind, the graft, to shithouse, to close down matches, to show that grit, I feel he will bring that. I feel he'll be able to instill that energy of securing a lead or playing a match to its merit and not be so open and naive all the time, which I feel Poch at times has done that. The in-game management as well, just sensing when danger's around. I feel like that is something Jose Mourinho, because of his experience, will be able to bring at Chelsea Football Club. But going back to what Younes just said as well, this is all very much hypothetical. There is so many things that needs to fall into place. These owners have so far shown us they want the polar opposite to Jose Mourinho. For the 2 seasons almost that they've been here, they've not indicated that they want a particular manager like Jose. So that you can understand how much that needs to change to actually bring someone like Jose Mourinho. It would literally will need them to surrender their thought process that they've had, under 25 players, whole heap of youth players that they've been scouting every other day, another Brazilian kid that gets linked to Chelsea Football Club. They will have to walk away from all of that and believe in Jose Mourinho. And that is something I think that's a huge thing. And I don't know if business people like them just give up on their ideas so easily. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think Jose Mourinho is capable of winning a Premier League. So I think if they were to sacrifice their whole model for him, I think the ceiling is a cup and maybe a minor European trophy, which we would be expected to win regardless. But I don't think he's going to come in and do anything above and beyond what we would expect in terms of a Champions League. I don't think he's capable of winning that anymore.
Who's out there that can win the Premier League?
If you used to bring Jose Mourinho in, this is the problem, right? Who is? But if you used to bring Jose Mourinho in as a manager right now, where does he rank in the Premier League of managers? Because there's some very good managers in this league. This is the best league in the world right now for managers. There's no league that has higher quality level of managers in terms of this many. You got Pep, you got Klopp.
I think that's it, Matisse. After that is everyone's even. Jose will fall under.
Everybody's even.
After that, Jose will fit into that category.
I still think Pochettino's in that category as well. As much as people right now, his stocks are on the floor, he's in that same category. He's not below that category. So
yeah, probably not. He probably still belongs in that same category. But I just feel like Poch. I just feel he doesn't understand Chelsea Football Club. I really don't think he understands it. Like, for certain people, certain clubs work. This is why some people are talking about Jose back to Chelsea, because he understands it. You're not going to get too many fans at Man United saying sack Ten Hag and get Jose Mourinho. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to get other places that Jose has been manager say that. This guy has seen success many other places, but I think almost every fan can say his link with Chelsea it's beyond explainable. There is something special there. Do you know what I mean? So
there's also one thing to take into consideration here, and that's it's not like how it was before. Jose was fresh on the block and no one really knew except few in Portugal and maybe Porto. You best believe all these young players that we've got grew up on Jose's Chelsea in 04-05.
100%.
Right? They grew up watching in the same way that we grew up Man United succeeding in the late 90s, right? It's similar. So immediately, the point that you just made, Miz, is, these players, at least for a moment, will be like, whoa. He walks through the door without saying a word, and it's like, it's Jose.
Easily.
Immediately. Now, what happens after that is a consequence of how it all goes. But no one else can do that. At Chelsea, if this was another club, even so, not so much. But because it happened at Chelsea back then, and the fact that these players were growing up on it is going to be even more of a factor as to why. If he walks into the dressing room, it's like flipping hell. Everything just, revitalizes immediately. And it's not just on that level. I genuinely believe that he would be able to offer certain values into these young players that, like I said, will translate even beyond Jose. Because let's be honest, is Jose going to be able to stay for 5 years or something like that? I can't bet on that. It's very unlikely. But would we take at least some sort of stability with assurance, right, for 3 years? We went through 4 managers under these new ownership, and we've only been here 18 months. It's pretty crazy. It's actually mad that even throughout all of these years, he's still our longest serving manager. And he's meant to be short term. And he is, to be honest. But like I said, I think for these players that have so much time ahead of them, at least to get us into a respectable position that the fan base can accept, right? Where we're competing to a decent level, where everything calms down, and we're moving in the right direction. And then if a change needs to be made down the line, then a change needs to be made down the line. But I think what we would be able to take going forward with this time with Jose, if it were to happen, is something that will help us beyond under another manager as well. I just feel like that would be, instead of just lingering in the wilderness.
Do you feel like teams that post Mourinho improve? Do you find that he's left good squads behind and that they go on to improve? Because I haven't seen that.
I think so. To an extent, I think so. Especially in recent times.
I don't think Mourinho has ever been a manager to be like, let me set things up nicely for my successor. I don't really see that's his way of doing things. His way of doing things is I'm thinking about the time right now, which is me, and I need to win, which is fantastic, right? But I'm not thinking after Mourinho is gone, there's this like long-term succession plan that exists, or there's this upward trajectory. The players that Mourinho is going to want to bring in to make himself successful and the club successful are not going to really do anything in the long term. In Chelsea's second stint, right, we had De Bruyne's, we had Salah's, we had top youngsters. He advocated instead for Schürrle's. Schürrle was nowhere near as talented, but he was able to deliver in that moment. And that's what he prioritized. That's what he's always prioritized.
I'd wanna say it's not his intention. I wouldn't say that it's his intention to go, I'm gonna set everything up nicely for the next decade. I don't think that's his intention, but it's a consequence. Chelsea under his first time, we carried his spine for 10 years. The second time we carried it beyond Antonio Conte, and to when Sarri changed everything.
Younes, Real Madrid as well. Like the team he left at Real Madrid, went on Inter Milan. The team he left at Inter Milan, strong. And just sorry to interject, Younes. I'll get you back on again. Just quickly in regards to KDB and Salah, this abuse that Mourinho keeps getting. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's been specifically said, not just by Jose in recent podcasts, where he said he had plans for KDB, he just couldn't give him game time assurance on every single match. He said, you'll be in the squad and you'll be integrated in. KDB wanted more minutes. It's much like the Cole Palmer situation where Pep recently said, you'll be in the squad, but I can't guarantee you minutes every single game. Cole Palmer said, well, see you later. I'm going. You can't stop certain players. People always seem to go after Jose that, he let go of KDB. All the players, look at what John and B. Mikel's podcast talks about Salah. Salah just wasn't ready at that time. It took Salah so long until he reached Roma to finally start clicking into gears. Or maybe just before he joined Roma when he was in Fiorentina. He was just starting to click into gears. So this whole thing about, but Jose let go of, Salah and KDB, it's all easy to look back now because those players are successful. Look at all the players that played under Jose, as Younes said, that the 10-year spine, all of them. Younes, how old was John Terry and Frank Lampard when they were under Jose?
When they started, they were about 24, I think. 25.
People talk about he can't play with kids. I think John Terry was younger. I think he was much younger than that. I reckon early.
It depends on the style of player, right? He chose Oscar over Mata for certain reasons, right? You guys have highlighted the successful clubs, but those are not the most recent. Chelsea first stint is not the most recent. That's what, 20 years ago, right? Real Madrid is not recent. How long ago was that? So we need to talk about the most recent projects.
Every manager has their taste, their traits. Look at what Poch's doing with Levi.
Do you think Enzo and Mourinho would? Do you think that would work?
Why wouldn't it? Look at the midfielders that Roma kind of play with. They're very much technical midfielders. Pretty sure it's Pellegrini, who's the guy in midfield. We've got a lot of technical midfielders in Italy.
The only reason why I ask is there's certain players he can bin off, right? But there's certain players he can't. There's certain players that he can't bin off. Certain players that, regardless, 100%. You kind of have to make work. The 100 million guys, you have to make work.
I think he would cherish Enzo.
Caicedo, absolutely, for sure, 100%.
100%, he'll enjoy Caicedo a lot. But going back to the point, which manager, Matisse, doesn't have some level of preference? Which manager? Look at Pochettino with Conor Gallagher. Look at Poch, the way he was initially deploying Enzo Fernandez. Look at Poch with Ben Chilwell, playing him as a winger. Every manager has their own way. I mean, we laugh about it, but they all have their ways of thinking.
Yeah, that's true.
Jose didn't fancy Mata. Crazy parties. He went to Man United. He had Mata there as well. Do you know what I mean? So, at that moment in time, he visioned something else with Chelsea. He wanted something different. Do you know what I mean? He felt that Oscar was a well-rounded player off the ball as well, not just with the ball. So, we have to understand.
It's a consequence. You look about KDB and Salah and that season we went on to win the league, so there was no reason to think that at that time. And he's clarified on at least on the Obi-Wan podcast that there were other factors there that came into play. But with Enzo and Caicedo, to answer this question, yeah, absolutely, I think he'd relish that. And you know what? Like I said, I think for even their own development, it's going to unlock a side for them, considering the age that they're at. That's going to help them going forward, like I said, even beyond Jose, in order to be able to develop. We know that Jose loves technical players. It's about how the technical players are used, because everyone wants to see a nice attacking, non-stop forward-thinking brand of football, whereas he can be more conservative. But he loves technical ballers. You look at some of the way that his teams have played, whether it's on the counter or it's in build-up, but some of the way that he likes his teams to play direct, one touch, straight, go forward and score football. We've seen, and it comes from that central midfield all the time. So Enzo and Caicedo, with the ability that they have, that you'd think they would have, I think he'd relish that. But for them, I think it would be able to unlock things in their arsenal that they might not have developed yet, in terms of the ruthlessness, the positioning. If we're even talking tactical, there's things that I think we'll be able to get out of them that are not being entertained right now. So I think he'd absolutely relish it. It's the engine. It's always been the engine of his systems, and the way that he's played is that part of the pitch. Is that central midfield position where everything happens. So yeah, it'd be down to them, and I think I'd look forward to it. If I'm honest, I would very much look forward to seeing what Enzo and Caicedo can do.
I think if you've got an attack like ours, I don't think it would work for him, because obviously you need a killer.
That's true. That's
every Mourinho striker is
lethal weapon.
Is physical, is able to head the ball, and is a deadly proposition. Whether it's the Kanes, the Drogbas, whoever.
Well,
him playing that way. Yeah.
Oh God.
him playing that way with a Jackson or a Mudryk and then a Madueke missing chances when you're only getting a few counter attacks.
That'll be a problem. That'll be a
massive problem.
That'll be a problem. Yes.
Yeah. So people are saying if he goes to Newcastle, we'll regret it. Listen, I love Mourinho, right? I think his two spells here were his two spells here. I almost want to bottle up and protect, because I don't want. What I don't want is Mourinho to come back here and have the friction that everybody knows and expects he's going to have with the board, which is why he'll never come here anyway in the first place. And then he's not going to tarnish anything unless he got us relegated, which he wouldn't. But I don't want him to further dent his own reputation. I know he's won at Roma, but his reputation is not what it was, right? He's not considered elite. He's not considered world-class in this current moment of managers. So I would not really say that coming back here is the move or the play. I would say that, international management could be quite a new venture, something fresh. Because I don't know where else he can go now. He's obviously been at Real Madrid.
He might go to Saudi Arabia. He might just bag the big bucks at Saudi.
Maybe. Newcastle, people have mentioned.
Newcastle actually would be a great one for him.
I'd be excited because I want to see him in the Prem. I want to see him back in the Prem. I think a Newcastle would be exciting. I'd like to see that. If he brings back Lukaku, listen, you know what my feelings are on Lukaku, bruv. I don't even know how they. I'm pretty sure that he had Lukaku when he was very young at Chelsea, and then he missed that penalty against Bayern, and then he off he went to Everton. So it's kind of weird how it's all come back full circle with them two anyway.
You know what, Matisse?
England, I've said it before. England manager is my dream. I want Mourinho as England manager.
That has to happen at some point. That has to happen at some point.
I'd rather him Portugal, though. I'd rather him Portugal.
No, that's the end. He finishes at Portugal and that's it.
If you told me tomorrow he's going to manage England for the Euros, I'm there. I'm there just to see what happens.
100%.
The prospect of it, I'm there. I'm there.
Miz isn't. He's like, I'm missing out, guys. What's going on?
No way. I despise the English national team. Absolutely. English national team reminds me of Arsenal. Absolute bottle jobs. Yeah, I would hate that. Portugal, go Portugal. You know what I mean?
The thing is with Jose, right? If he comes in, it's got to be instant success. No one's going to believe that Mourinho's on some long-term project. He doesn't go long-term at any of his clubs. He goes in, he gets jobs done, and he goes. So it's a lot of pressure when he comes back.
No, you know what? I think
everybody, same with, and this is the same thing when Lampard came in, right? Everybody always thinks this honeymoon period is going to be some long sustained, like ongoing emotional. No, that lasts for the first couple of press conferences. That lasts for the first couple of weeks, and then it's game time. It's the same as usual. We're looking at what's going on the pitch. It's results. You can't lose. And just because it's Mourinho in the dugout, it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. We connected with him. It's not going to work. So I think, I don't know. It's going to be a weird sell for the ownership. The ownership wouldn't buy it, but it's going to be. I would expect Mourinho to.
We wouldn't be like this, Matisse, though. We would not be like this under Mourinho. Like we may lose, but we would not be like the way we are right now.
Where do you think we'd be in the table with Mourinho? With these circumstances, I'm talking about with these injuries that we've had. Would you think we'd be fifth?
I'd say respectable fifth, yeah. And pushing for fourth.
I'd say fourth, fifth.
Yeah. Fifth.
And you know what? This is what I'm saying. The fan base would accept that for now, in terms of where we are, the way that we're moving, the way that things are being done. That's a position that, much like we were seeing with Thomas Tuchel, that's a position that would be deemed respectable, and then you try and build on that. But that's the point that you've made. You emphasize just how important the short term is. Absolutely, I agree. Who better to actually come in and set everything, at least in the short term, in order to give us a chance to be able to look long term later? Absolutely. This is why I look and I think, I
don't think we're set up to perform in the short term. No, that's the problem.
But this is where, and we all agree on this, is where the strategy needs to align with Jose. Absolutely. And if we go back, for example, to that striker point that you mentioned, which we absolutely need. Well, if you were to bring in Jose and you get him a Victor Osimhen, for me, my trust goes, okay, I'll let this play out. I feel confident now. I will run with this.
So really, this would have to be a summer. You're not really saying that mid-season this would be something that would really make sense. Because
as long as he doesn't get snapped up, the problem is that he could get approached and snapped up by someone else in the meantime because he's available. Do you know what I mean? So it's a case of FOMO here. That's basically, if it's not FOMO, then end of the season, absolutely.
I'm going to run a poll. Some people are questioning why this is a topic. Trust me, the whole fan base online is having their 2 cents on it. Let me run a poll.
I was going to say the same thing as Younes said in terms of, if you're really keen to bring in a Victor Osimhen, you do that for Jose. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, I'm not getting any sort of heart from what I'm seeing from Pochettino so far. And I don't want to reward him with a Victor Osimhen. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I saw some level of performance, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, give.
I don't think I even want Osimhen, to be honest.
For me, that is the experienced striker. I feel like very much would go hand in hand with Jose Mourinho. So if you do bring in someone like him, then Jose, I'm sure, will get that particular striker buzzing for Chelsea Football Club. Do you know what I mean? We'll get all the players aligned to the point where you feed that striker. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's the main guy. You feed him. Much like what we did with Didier Drogba. So, yeah. But before all of that, so many things need to be lined up. So many things. This is only a dream. And this is simply not possible if the owners don't forget their master plan that they have right now. Do you know what I mean? Like we have our owners talking about setting up a team for 100 points. Do you understand how delusional these people are? Like, they will need to really understand football from grassroots. So as much as fans, some want him, some may not want him, all of this is just conversations if our owners don't change their philosophy. And so far, we've heard from Fabrizio literally 24 hours ago that regardless of what happens this season, Pochettino stays. So that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so.
This is why, and this is why, yeah. If there's anything, it will more than likely be entertained at the end of the season. But yeah, in the meantime, this is the thing: will another club move for him? He'll be back in London. He lives in London. His family's in London. They're literally around the corner from the bridge. So there's that. Will another club snap him up? Will they approach him? Will they not? Will he take time off? Will he not? So many questions here as to whether this could be an end of season thing or whether he gets snapped up immediately, or we'll have to wait and see. But for Chelsea, it definitely, unless if, say, well, look, like you just said, Miz, I'd like to think that, look, if we get knocked out against Middlesbrough, then like this is nuts. But if Poch is staying into the end of the season, then maybe this is a case of having to plan and get ring set for end of the season and see where we go from there.
But I tend to think someone like Newcastle would definitely have a polite conversation with Jose Mourinho, because I feel like their team is in that zone of good, balanced, experienced players there. And someone like Jose, for all the good work that Eddie Howe has done, can then elevate them to the next level. I can just picture that Newcastle team, prime, sit back, counter with precision, and just pick teams off for fun. Do you know what I mean? People will call them, oh, that's a negative way to play football. But very quickly, you'll see them back into top four. Do you know what I mean? So, it's a double-edged sword there. So I can see Newcastle going for them.
Be an interesting one if they did sack Eddie Howe, actually. I know Joe Linton is out for the rest of the season, so it's just a tough one for him as well. He's got a lot of injuries to deal with. All right, let's go to Super Chats. Matisse, you've been forgiven for your sins. I'm here to be civil and offer you an olive branch. But if you act up, I'll be back for you. Big up. Miz, how was he on the watch along? Was he okay?
He was all right. He was all right. He said that if Fulham loses, if Chelsea lose to Fulham, then he was going to come for your head.
We were going into that game saying we're going to have some sort of emergency meeting after the match. We ended up winning the game. Maybe we should do that more often. We should just stop predicting Chelsea wins, and then we might win games.
And just threaten emergency meetings, and then they'll get the job done.
I said straight after that game, actually, I wasn't too upset. I actually felt that was a hard fought game. Like I felt it was a good, well-deserved victory.
Especially the way Fulham have played recently against some top teams. They played well, so it's not like Liverpool have absolutely smashed them in midweek.
In patches in that game, I felt like the players really played for each other. They were looking out for each other. They were doing the dirty work for each other. There's still so much that needs to improve, of course, but it wasn't as if the win against Luton or the win against Sheffield or the win against whoever recently, there wasn't that sour taste after. I actually felt, do you know what? Let's see where this, you guys show me more. But I said it straight after the watch along that the violence must continue. You've not achieved anything as yet. So the violence will continue until I see plethora of wins put together. So we've got Middlesbrough, we've got Aston Villa, and then straight after that is Liverpool. So pain is just around the corner. Pain is literally just around the corner. And that's, not to disrespect Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa will be a very difficult task in the FA Cup. So Poch and this team and these board, they have a lot to prove, man. A lot to prove. A lot. Before any of us can actually feel comfortable about them.
Some people in the chat want the Alonsos. They want the Postecoglou 2.0s over the Jose's. It's interesting to see the divide, which direction we should go in. Because obviously those guys, we talk about patterns of play, we talk about breaking down low blocks. Those guys are looking like they're more capable of doing it but then at the same time, they don't have the CV. So it's interesting. Clara says, I really wish Younes was at Big Six yesterday to defend Lamps. That was utter crap from Thabz and Matt. Let it slide a lot. Thing is with Thabz, right? Is Thabz?
What happened? I didn't watch.
I don't know if you guys.
I watched that. I thought Matisse defended Lampard brilliantly.
People don't understand what Thabz is like, right?
Is this the whole KDB Lampard debate?
Yeah.
Mate.
When Thabz has something, he's not gonna stop, right? He's not gonna stop. So I did my very best, considering the time, right?
Bro, you did brilliantly.
Let him speak, I retort. Let him speak, I retort. But I'm not going to get into a big, long argument that really will never end because he's not going to change his opinion. I've seen Hazard be discredited on that show. Just doesn't like Chelsea. It's just, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing you could do about it.
Matisse, at the end of the day, these sort of debates, honestly, there's no right or wrong answer.
I don't disrespect De Bruyne to be like, I absolutely need to kill De Bruyne in this debate. Like, De Bruyne's a top player.
No.
But my argument wasn't to say that Lampard has to be clear of De Bruyne, or my argument was they're at the same table. Just don't
100%.
disrespect. My argument was just don't disrespect Lampard. That's my argument. Don't say that he can't
100%.
do this, that, the third to the highest level. Like, let's just make sure we keep him at this table. Don't take him off this table.
I couldn't believe when Thabz was saying that Lampard doesn't have the passing ability as KDB.
Mate.
And I'm like, dude, just roll up the reels. Roll up the reels of his passing. Are you mad? Look, this is no disrespect to KDB. KDB is a genius. But to say he didn't have the same level of passing ability as...
This is what I brought up, the fact that he's played over double the Premier League games, right? And De Bruyne got here. He got here youngish, but not maybe as young, but he was at Chelsea beforehand. But more importantly, Manchester City have won things without De Bruyne being massive parts of their team each season. Some seasons, he's been out of the conversation in multiple seasons where City have still achieved things and still done well. So we have to remember that Lampard was here every single year. Year in, year out, putting in exactly
20
the same
goals,
exactly the same performances and numbers. He never dipped. He never came on for 20 minutes and contributed. He was there full 90 minutes every single game, every single week, every single year, from start to finish. And not respecting that longevity and pretending like as if others could do that automatically without them actually doing it is outrageous.
And
like,
Lampard
in
was
terms
in
of
an
Premier League
era.
appearances, he's right up there with everyone.
Lampard was in an era of plethora of unbelievable midfielders.
Yeah,
he competed against the best of the best.
Yeah,
KDB, once again, I sincerely say, I'm not taking nothing away from KDB. KDB is not facing that level of midfield week in, week out. Do you know what I mean?
But what I don't want to do is say that he wouldn't perform, because I think he would. If he was to put KDB back in those midfields, he performs.
He would.
He performs.
What I'm saying is, when people say KDB is miles ahead of Lampard, or they can't be in the same table, you've not watched Lampard then.
Yeah.
You really have not watched Lampard. And all of us obviously have watched Lampard, but we've also seen KDB, and I think we can all say they're pretty much in the same boat. They're really in the same boat.
I think it's so weird with Lampard. Lampard's fitness was ridiculous, but Lampard wasn't. He wasn't physical. Like, he wasn't P&P. He wasn't pace and power. He wasn't like Yaya Toure, or even De Bruyne's got a better box to box maybe engine. I don't know what
you're not going to get Frank Lampard drive from deep. He's not a Steven Gerrard.
But,
do you know what I mean?
Why? That's not. But that's not, in terms of point scoring. I don't care about that. Like, that shouldn't even be a point. Xavi wasn't a box to box, like, back and forth. No one cares.
The point.
I don't think that should even be brought into discussion. The only reason why is And this is why I said I said it on Twitter, if Lampard was Spanish, people would talk about him differently, because the way that the Premier League is set up is people value that box-to-box energy, athleticism. But at the end of the day, if you're still performing at the highest level, it doesn't matter if you have that or you don't, because you're still performing, right? And if anything, I would say it's in your favor that you was able to perform to that level without the get out of jail card of just having fantastic genes, right? In terms of athleticism. That's how I would look at it. But for some reason, it goes the other way.
No, you're right. And it goes to show. And I say KDB has this too, but his IQ is ridiculous. The way that he reads the game is mad. But the way Lampard read the game was mad. And it's because of that, he didn't need to have those attributes. And he was always in the right position at the right time, doing the right things, picking the right passes, making the correct assists, shooting from distance, creating he done it all, man. I completely agree that, look, the way that people are moving is like, Maradona's crap because Messi was unbelievable. No.
Yeah.
Lampard in his era was outstanding and outrageous. KDB in his era is outstanding and outrageous. And they do both sit at the same table, and
100%.
that is it. Game over. Finished. 100%. Now, the way that the comparisons are going, like Lampard couldn't pass. Mate, come on. Just Barcelona comes right into my head.
Bro, that pass to Ramirez. Oh my God.
The pass against what team was it
that
where he went on the outside of his foot
and it went around to Drogbaba.
Come on, man. Come on. IQ, and I trust KDB is capable of that.
Yeah, of course.
So this is where I say they're both at the same table, man. Relax.
This is what I mean. Like these debates, right, Matisse? I just wanted to say was that there is no right or wrong. Like you can just continue arguing with one another, till the sun goes down. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's like this is when I see these arguments in Big Six, the initial part of the argument is exciting, but as it drags on, honestly, I feel like people are tuning out because it's what Matisse said, it's what Chobe said, it's what he
did. What he did that was mad that I didn't pick up on, right? You have to remember, guys, these shows are 2 hours. Sometimes man just has to take a break, right?
Yeah.
One thing I didn't pick up on that I wish I'd cussed was Yaya Toure in top 5 and not Lampard. That was a disgrace because he just doesn't have the longevity.
Top 5 of what?
All time. That's where he put. He
didn't have Frank Lampard.
He put Yaya Toure in there, but he didn't have Lampard. He had Yaya Toure basically above Lampard. That was a disgrace.
Are we saying all-time Premier League?
Premier League. Yeah.
Lampard's not in all-time top 5.
Not for him. He had Yaya Toure there. That was a disgrace.
What was his 5? What was his 5?
At that point, I was tired.
He didn't give 5. He just said that Lampard's not in the 5, but he's definitely there in the 10.
He had Yaya Toure there. That was a disgrace.
Nah, man.
And I'm not saying Yaya Toure's peak isn't in that table because it is, but I'm sorry, you're not talking about 2-3 seasons versus 15
and then
or
Younes,
whatever it was.
Some people were trying to put Gundogan in the top 5.
Oh, get out. Get out.
these players, I feel so sad. I feel so sad because they're balling.
Do you know what's funny? I'm actually filming with them today because we've got a big link up in the next 2 days to film. Brother Hugh's coming over in a few hours. That there was, we can't let that slide. Yeah, I'll have a talking with him again privately. That was outrageous. That was outrageous.
But do you know what I mean? Like you can't argue. Like these are just opinions and perceptions. Like these are endless arguments. Really, there's no right or wrong.
I'll be honest.
I think that Gundogan is wrong.
Wrong.
That one is wrong.
Gundogan is a good player.
Cesc Fabregas is ahead of Gundogan.
Gundogan is a good player, and it's a consequence of who he had around him, I think, and the team that he was in that made him look even better than what he is. I think he's a good player though, but not. 100%. We're talking top 5 of all time, mate. Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard. To be honest, Yaya Toure has a shout in there, but you're talking Makalele, you're talking
Vieira.
Some would say Kante, Vieira. Mate, it's come on.
Yeah, it's mad. Kante
even
behind
David Silva. You even say David Silva.
Kante behind Gundogan as well is a disgrace. I'm sorry, that's a disgrace.
Agreed.
Gundogan's a top player. It's a top player.
Yeah.
But it's a disgrace.
But there's many top players.
David Silva. But David Silva's an interesting one because David Silva's kind of like a 10. He's not a midfield. He's not a centre midfielder. He's a 10.
No, he's not,
yeah, he's a 10. He's in the categories with the Ozils and the I don't know, position-wise, the Matters and the Bergkamps, and I put him in that position. I don't put him with these lot because this is a different group. But yeah. What a fun discussion it always is. So yeah, listen, Clara, I'm sorry, but you know, what can I do?
No, I won't buy.
Unless I go to his house and attempt to beat him up, I'm afraid there's nothing more I can do on that conversation. He's not going to rest.
Matisse, honestly, I thought you did. I thought you did really well. The way you presented Lampard.
Yeah,
what else are you meant to do? What else are you meant to do? Scream all over him.
Without me typing into Wikipedia and going through all of Lampard's accolades, which would have taken about half an hour, I was like, yeah, this is it. And also, I like to leave people a little bit of, a little bit of leeway. Let them drag themselves. You know, the chat, the comments. Let them put some work in too. Do you know what I mean? You heard the man. That's what he said. Let him speak. Joe's returns and wants to bring Lukaku with him. Would you guys take that? Because for me, it's an absolute no. I stand on this business,
mate. Do you know what? I'd be having World War III in my head. Like Jose coming back, fantastic. But if it means Lukaku comes with him, I'm like, oh my god, like
no.
My head.
People talk about stability.
I don't want Lukaku back. But
stability,
I would take
long-term
Jose
success.
Any day.
Yeah, you could forget about it with that pairing. No chance. no
As I
chance.
said, I'd rather we went and got Osimhen if Jose was here rather than bring Lukaku back without question.
I can't lie to you. Lukaku is at a point of no return for me.
Yeah.
No return.
I don't care. Beyond just football.
I don't care what he says. I don't care who the manager is. He's not welcome back for me. Don't care. He needs to be sold immediately, and that's the end of it. I'm not buying any more PR, any more backing I'm better. Love the club. I apologize, not interested. Your words
too much damage done. Yeah.
Your words have disintegrated into ashes, bruv. I'm sorry. I don't believe. There's nothing he can say that I will believe. So there's no return. You have to want to play for this club. We need to put respect on the badge. People have asked me this multiple times, but they've done it in stagnance. They've done it like over time to try and see if I'll change my opinion. If you don't want to play for this club and you make it that publicly clear and embarrass us and the fan base, talk about having standards. That is the biggest standard I will hold. No chance.
I think that's what it comes down to with Lukaku. He doesn't want to return back to Chelsea. So I don't want him back. Let's just make that one thing clear. But equally, he doesn't want to return back either. So it doesn't matter whether we want him back or not. He doesn't want to come back. And we don't want him to come back. So
happy days.
I don't care. I don't care if we had Michael Hector up front. Do you understand?
I've not heard
I don't care if
wow.
Djilabodji was the striker. Do you understand?
Man saying that I'd take relegation. I'd go down a level.
It's principle. Do you understand? It's standards. You want standards? These are the real standards. These are the real standards. The players, when they leave our club, they cry. Fabregas, right? When they leave our club, they speak on how much they miss it, how much they wish they would have stayed there for longer. How they leave and their career falls off a cliff, most of them afterwards, right? Very few players leave this club and go on to do better things. That's how I like it. Do you understand? That's how I like it. So we leave it like that. We don't let anybody try and call the shots here. You know, that's not gonna run. No way.
I want to put this out hypothetically, very quick hypothetically. This I don't think this will ever happen. But if Lukaku, unlike his first PR apology that he got, right? But if he came out with a genuine, like deep, well thought out apology,
He's not capable, Younes. He's not capable.
I don't need Jay-Z writing these lyrics.
Would you accept it?
No, because I know he's a snake. I know he's a snake.
Jay-Z.
You genuinely think he's that's his nature and he's a write-off?
Bro, this person I think would sell his parents.
Brother, Younes, if you were cheated on, right, twice, would you take them back?
Absolutely not.
Right then, so that's the end of the conversation.
Yeah, no, all right. No, you've wrapped it up very, very nicely.
No chance.
Onwards and upwards.
I don't need somebody writing lyrics for this brother. Ghostwriter
you're right.
come and write some apology for him to come read
You're
it
right.
out and pretend that's his work. That's not gonna work.
I reckon Lukaku looks at the mirror and tries to cheat that
Dunked
person on the mirror.
Inter. He cheated
true,
on
though.
Chelsea
Yeah,
with
he did.
Inter. He cheated on Chelsea with Inter and then cheated on Inter.
That says he's got a problem.
Do you know
he's
how
got a
mad
problem?
that is?
Do you know how mad that
He needs
Keep
rehab.
it. It's not
He
just
needs
us,
rehab.
you know. It's Inter as well. He actually scammed the scammer.
I wonder where's next for him.
God. When he did that to Inter, I said, "Yeah, you're actually a hoe."
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're mad. You're
For real.
actually mad.
Proper.
You have no values in life. You really don't.
This
Oh
this is it. He brother cheated on himself. Brother would if he could.
Mental.
If he could betray himself, he would betray himself.
That's
Which
what I
is
said. He'd
insane.
look at the mirror and he'd want to cheat that person in the mirror.
Poch is lucky Palmer's still running an old 13-1 Guardiola patch and coaching. Even if Joe's don't work, he would still instill winning animal in them forever. Yeah. If we get I think to instill winning, you have to win, and I think he did that the first time when he brought that Carling Cup home, and Joe Cole spoke about how important it was at the Millennium Stadium. I think to instill winning, you have to win. I think if you don't instill winning by winning a trophy, then it's impossible to instill winning because they haven't experienced it. You have to experience it. So, but I think I think he would win a trophy, though. I think he could win a trophy. I just don't think he could win the top trophies because I think the other managers would be in line to take those before him. But I think he could win a trophy for sure.
Get him in for the second leg next week.
Oh, if we get Joe's top four,
get him in for the final against Liverpool, and then we move.
Top four is not possible this season. I'm sorry, top four is not possible for anyone this season.
No chance.
It's done.
Do you know what? If we do make it to the final, and this is once again hypothetical, if we do make it to the Carabao Cup final, and if Jose was to take over, I'm putting Chelsea a top chance to beat Liverpool. You know, if Liverpool looks like they will go through to the final, I'm actually got Chelsea a top chance of winning that. People already have written us off. Like, even if we do go against Middlesbrough, we go to the final, we're going to get slapped up by Liverpool. But bring Jose, I'm telling you, I've got full faith we are going to get something. Do you know what I
We
mean?
can do the opposite of Spurs. They sack him before a final, we hire him before a final. Not a problem. There you are. Nice one. 1-0, take it and run.
Exactly. It's a win nonetheless.
If we
1-0.
do somehow miraculously, and I don't think it's even miraculous. We've played Liverpool how many times recently? We've never really
Too many.
lost
too many
much.
times and too many draws.
We compete a lot. Every time we compete, and we you know, it tends to be a draw and then normal time, and obviously goes to penalties. If we do win, I feel like my job is done. I'd like to tap out early doors and say, listen, I brought us back silverware. Right? If we win the Carabao Cup, right? I have brought us back a trophy at Wembley after 5 defeats in a row. I would like to have what's it called? What's that
And
word?
Matisse, if we lose to Middlesbrough, what you gonna do then?
Channel closes.
Because let me give you a reality check. They are 1-0 ahead.
I know. They'll kill me.
They will have
They will
to.
kill me. But if we win the Carabao Cup, I'd like immunity. That's what I want. I'd like immunity.
You want handshake. You want to come.
I want to
yeah.
make a deal. I want to make a deal with the chat, right? If we lose to Middlesbrough, you're going to kill me. You're going to kill me. I am aware, okay? I've already purchased my bullet proof vest.
Man,
Do you understand?
Here's the bullet for you.
And
Now
you know
shoot
what?
me.
If they're not too expensive, if we do lose that game, I will probably wear a bullet proof vest to the next All You Can Eat Chelsea. To be honest, I probably
You'll be only
will.
looking at the
Is
shield.
that available in the markets? Is that readily
I don't know.
available?
I don't know, but maybe a fake one. I'm sure it will be. So I'm gonna get that. But if we win it, I'd like immunity. From that moment forward, I've brought us some success. As it's minor, but I think we'd all appreciate a cup and European qualification, even though it's the worst kind.
Do you know what? I don't think
would like
it's minor,
immunity.
Matisse. I wouldn't say that's minor. For where we are, I think that's going to be quite huge. And I think you would get a lot of props. Simple.
I'd like immunity.
Yeah.
And then he hasn't lost, he's won a trophy. And I think that he sealed the deal. People have got to be like, okay, fair, he won something. Like, regardless of what it was, he did win something. So he
Man, I'm begging for Middlesbrough to win.
He didn't bottle the fight. What?
Some people are saying, I beg
I
Carrick
said,
to
I want
win.
us to lose, don't run. Yeah, what's going on?
Finishes 0-0.
You know what the dream situation is? Fulham, who we've beaten twice this season, beat Liverpool in the second leg because they're just one goal down. And Poch just beats Fulham.
Matisse, see what you did? You want now Chelsea fans to... They want to lose so that you're proven wrong. Look what you've done, bro.
Wow.
Oh my days.
That's crazy. There were some people that wanted to lose to Fulham so he could be sacked, which I find insane.
No, that's mad.
That's outrageous. We said Enzo can't afford to fail at Chelsea. We addressed his issues and struggles playing for Poch, who prefers transitional, pragmatic football, yet people want to replace Poch with Mourinho, who is more pragmatic.
I don't think this is... Yeah.
I don't know. Tactically, I don't know. I don't know. It's not the same. It's not the same. But I don't think it's. I don't think it's the way I wouldn't be like inspired by Mourinho's tactical way of going about it. I'd be more like, okay, we have to get results now because like this is gonna be stinky. This could be stinky. Whereas the Xabi Alonso's that people want, the Postecoglou's that people have seen, at least you know that we could be watching some seriously good football. And the whole, how do we get past the low blocks and the system and patterns and everything that people have complained about, you know that at least that's the direction you're going in with those type of hires. Mourinho, are the patterns of play going to be improved? Hopefully. I'd say they can't really get any worse. But at the same time, I don't think he's I don't think he's going to be a low block magician. So based on what I've seen recently. So yeah.
I've not seen too much of Roma this season, and maybe what I'm about to say may not hold too much validity, but that final against Sevilla, Younes, we did that watch along.
We did that watch along together.
Roma played nice, man.
Yeah.
They up until when Dybala was still available, because obviously he was injured and he had to be taken off. Roma was.
He's always injured.
He's always injured. They were playing really good football, man. It was a shame that they didn't capitalize off the back of that. So.
And what's you see at Roma, he's constantly played a back three over there.
Yeah,
constantly. Never gone to a back four. Yeah. I think with an Enzo, one thing's for sure, Enzo won't play as a 10. Guaranteed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he won't.
He'll
play where Fabregas played.
Yeah.
But Fabregas had Matic, and Matic is so underrated and underspoken about.
Yeah.
He was
very true.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous. Like
you
talk about a DM. This guy had everything. Physicality, had a long shot in him, tackles, interceptions, like
height that people harp on about.
Bro, everything. Could pass a ball, by the way. Brilliant passer of the ball. So the balance. Obviously, Caicedo is a great player, but the balance isn't quite as good. It's not quite as good as what it was there. That balance was pretty much perfect. Stupidly good. Like, especially because Matic was left-footed as well. It just was like, it's just not
and Matic positionally was so aware all the time. Like, never left his spot to just bomb up ridiculously. He picked his time when he felt, I need to now go into the middle and do something.
Bro, he was so strong.
Bro, some of the shots he took from long range.
Yeah. The long ranger against Spurs.
Bro, you're not beating him if you want to play out from the back and the keeper feels pressured and you want to go long and reach Matic, you're not losing that aerial duel.
No, you're not losing that. No one is out jumping Matic. No way. No one is winning that aerial duel.
You may as well that with his chest.
You may as well not even participate with that one.
Yeah.
Mad. Trust me, Miz and Younes, Mad was asked on DR, would he take Joe's back? And he said no, so that's probably it. Everyone at Chelsea watches his vids, the appointment of Poch, cold Palmer celebration, etc. What have they done that I didn't ask for? Because there's definitely be quite a few things. Stop signing kids. which brings us on to the incredible Willian Messinino.
Bro. Here we go. Now I'm gonna
Está
now I'm about to get angry again.
How much money?
Favela FC, man.
Where do you guys stand on bringing in another 16-year-old for 40 million?
I don't stand on anywhere. I want to leap off. I want to jump off a mountain. I don't stand nowhere.
He looks
It's
talented, though.
ridiculous.
Miz, he looks talented, bro. Yeah, apparently he's a goal-scoring winger, this one. Not Angelo, who's a playmaking one, or Palmer,
really?
who's a bit of both. This one's a goal-scoring one. Shoots like Adriano, right? Rockets, bro. Yeah. He's 16. He's left-footed, plays on the right. You could have a world where him and Angelo play right wing, Palmer plays 10, Madueke
and
is
Kendry
sold.
Paez also plays as a striker.
Kendry Paez can play in the 8.
Santos as a 6. Cassidy next to Santos.
Don't worry about any of the
Humphreys in
others.
defense.
They're not good enough. They're not good enough. Don't worry about
We
it.
can field an under-20s team. Why not? That's what gets people going these days, right? Like that's
Angelo
what gets people excited.
Angelo play on the left wing, but is that where he plays best? Because it looks like he's a right winger to me. But
Honestly,
I've not seen him. I'm not seeing him at left wing.
Let's cut this bull crap, right? What are we saying here? Like, what are we? I've not watched this Estevao Willian kid.
Come from
I've not
Santos,
watched
bro.
him, and I don't care if you come out and tell me that he's the next big thing. We aren't, guys. Our house is burning down. If you haven't noticed,
Facts.
Exactly.
like
Facts.
you're telling me about Estevao Willian. I don't have a house. My wife is in that house. My son, my daughter. I need to go rescue them. And you're telling me about some fancy event that's happening outside in the streets.
Mate, that we need an experienced fireman to come in and put the fire out instead of a kid with a water bucket.
Or a water gun.
Yeah.
So you're saying you don't want a player that can play in 2 years? Because
there may not
to
be a
be
club
honest,
in 2 years.
2025/6 is looking lit, guys. If you could just hold out a little bit longer. I know we're going through it. I know it's the second season we've been in mid-table and the second season without European qualification. And we did just pass our FFP checks, right? So we're in the clear. We have the money. If you could just hold out, not this season, not next, but the one after that. Yeah. So one more season of mediocrity, and then all of these 18-year-olds are coming.
Yep.
And it's and what you don't
We're
need to
taking
worry
over the
about,
world.
you don't need to worry about them developing. So it's basically like a new project almost. You don't need to worry about them getting used to the league or the country. You don't need to worry about them acclimatizing. You don't need to worry about their maturity levels and them having to, don't worry about any of that. As soon as they arrive, they are going to
winning everything.
Smash it.
We're starting with 100 points straight away.
18-year-olds immediately from Brazil, bang, straight. Don't worry about the fact that it took a couple of seasons for Vinicius. No. Like these ones, immediately, bro. So actually, wait, no. Let me not be. So 27, 28, they should be ready because you need to give them a bit of time. So 27, 28, how many years is that away? Yeah, 27, 28, we'll be ready. We'll be ready with those ones. But I can't tell you that we won't sign more 16-year-olds whilst we're signing the 16-year-olds. So do bear in mind that once they're 18, the other 16-year-olds won't be ready because they're 14 now.
I don't get this fetish for kids. Like this has to be a disease. It really does. I honestly think this is a sickening disease.
You know how long away that is? Can you imagine preparing for 27, 28 whilst we're 10th? Who does this? There's nobody doing this.
It's that word that Younes likes to throw out every time, dopamine. Like there must be some form of excitement that you get when you see a new 15, 16-year-old do step overs, beat a couple of players and show that exuberant and that, that excitement.
Bro, everybody looks incredible before they get clamped in the men's game. Everybody looks incredible before they get clamped in the men's game. Every 16-year-old who has never faced a proper tackle from a grown-ass man and taken a few challenges in the Premier League or had an injury or two. How many youngsters have had injuries or two and then they don't even look the same? We don't even have that in our methodology when we talk about players, when we're trying to sign them at such a young age. We're just like, well, they're never going to get injured. They're never going to get that tackle. And then they're always going to be this promise that they're always going to reach the promised land.
Matisse,
it's just simply not correct.
What did we think about Tina Angerin? What did we say about Tina Angerin?
I forgot about that, brother. Lord heavens.
See, people forget. What did we say about, Harvey Vale when he first was introduced under Thomas Tuchel? These players are just disappearing, man. They're not all going to make it. Right. Some of them will have injuries as well. Chukwuemeka is another youngster who we rate a lot, but we don't know what's going to happen with Chukwuemeka. Like, he's picked up some injuries too. These kids, like, they're kids. And look, I would not care if we've not bought all of these kids and Estevao Willian was the first one that we've got.
When people are asking me, oh, you wouldn't take him then? No. Don't try to miss the point. Yep. I'm not questioning his talent. I think he from what I've seen on comps, which is all anybody's watched, no one's watching the Brazilian league. He looks very talented. Yeah. Looks very talented. That's not the problem. The problem is you just keep stockpiling. And the integration and development phase is not just about the recruitment phase. There's 3 phases. We are only doing one of them. How many loans of last year have failed? Fofana, Santos. Without me getting into the seniors that need to be flogged in the summer.
Well, you're missing the Charlie Websters in Dutch league. People don't talk about that. Charlie Webster's in Heerenveen. No one talks about him.
We don't care about those guys.
but not that long ago, people were telling me Charlie Webster needs to start for Chelsea. Do you remember? Kovacic needs to be benched and Charlie Webster needs to start. Charlie Webster goes to Heerenveen. Brother doesn't even start there. So Harvey Vale, people said Harvey Vale needs to be playing for Chelsea Football Club. Where's he now? Do you know what I mean?
My problem is
Lewis Bate. People said Lewis Bate was just as good as Billy Gilmore.
I remember that. Yeah.
Where's Lewis Bate now?
Yeah.
So the difference is with these guys, these are Cobham guys that didn't cost anything, so that's okay. But these guys cost 40 million.
Yeah.
It goes to show you got these Cobham guys that are not making
Washington cost 20. No one even cares about him anymore.
Exactly.
Are we going to get that money back?
No, it's finished.
20 million on a striker that can't even come off the bench. No one cares about him.
I heard a few people say, sell Angelo Gabriel and get me Messinho.
Okay. So we've given up on Angelo. How long has he been there? 6 months.
Angelo has not even registered in the books yet. He's not been able to be put down in the accounting books. And we're willing to dispatch him to bring in another kid. This is what's going to happen. Kids will replace kids.
Yeah. Because we haven't got the patience to develop said kid. Imagine Angelo just write him off immediately like that. Crazy. This
is a disease. Honestly, it's a disease.
Madueke last January was a must not miss talent. To some people I was chatting to.
And now get rid of him.
Mudryk was a must not miss talent. We have to get him. Guys, we have to. As soon as we were linked, no one wanted him before he was linked. As soon as he was linked, guys, we have to get him. We have to close it. Now these guys.
My house is on fire. My house is on fire.
Now these guys.
My house is on fire.
This is the scary thing as to what is the approach and what is the what's the owner's vision here? What are they trying to do? And the worry is that it's just purely financial here because you can't be going for kids non-stop when even if you've got kids, we're not against young players and young talents. Like you said, Estevao Willian, maybe he is it. Maybe he will become that next big guy. Maybe like Endrick, for example. But even with the way we're moving at the moment, we need to bring in players that are going to even help these young players develop and show them and set an example and play alongside them and nurture them. And if not, they're just going to stagnate. You can get all the 16-year-olds in the world. By the time they're 28, they will still be exactly how they were when they were 16. That's the way that it's going to go. Or they're not going to make it.
The thing is,
So
right,
it's
is
mental.
when people talk about Real Madrid getting Endrick and obviously Barca getting Victor Roque, but forget them because Barcelona are awful right now. But Real Madrid, they have made sure that there are legendary leaders and top players glittered throughout that team. So when they bring in these young players, they don't have the pressure to deliver immediately, even though it's Real Madrid, because they're most likely going to be on the bench to begin with. And B, which we don't have because we don't have guaranteed output in the attack. So any attacker coming in, even if they're 18, if they cost a certain amount, people are going to kind of want to see them immediately, right? If you wanted to see Hudson-Odoi immediately at Sarri, you're definitely going to want to see Willian immediately. I can tell you that. And then footballers learning off footballers, right? We've spoken about it before. Bellingham saying that Modric has, showed him that pass, that fantastic outside the right boot pass. Then he's demonstrating it in the games. Benzema, how much did he help Vinicius and Rodrigo become who they became, in the training sessions, learning? We don't have that. We don't have, and this should be the priority, is re-establishing some sort of spine of players that the young players can learn off. There's no striker or attacker to learn off. In this, you wouldn't even learn off Sterling. Not when you're seeing them 3v1s. I'm sorry, right? Exactly. You're not. There's no one here to learn from apart from Silva, and that brother is tired, exhausted, and he can only teach the centre backs, and there's enough of them. He's got a whole class of 7. That man sitting down in pre-season had Humphreys, Chalobah, Disasi, Badiashile, Colwell, all sitting front row in the class, and they're trying to throw in. Can you get Reece James in here? Gusto, can we get Cucurella in here as well? Can we get all right, cool. I'll take the defenders. I can't teach the midfielders and the attackers though. You need to find someone else for them. They don't have any teachers. They've run out of teachers. They've run out of principals. They don't have anyone. So, yeah, for me, need to realign because the thing is, right, as much as people say we can't miss out on this talent, I've said it as there will be another talent next year and next summer.
Exactly.
And the summer after.
It never stops.
It never stops. Do you think that as soon as we get Willian, there's not going to be another left-footed right winger again that you want?
The day after.
Do you know what?
Literally the day after there will be.
Somebody else just popped up the other day. Plays for Belgium. The new Hazard. Did you see that? The new Hazard. Left-footed right winger. I was waiting for Chelsea fans to tell me we must sign this guy. I was waiting.
Yeah.
What happened to Musa? Everybody remember Musa? Left wing?
Yes.
Norwegian?
Yes.
We must. Do you remember?
Antonio Nusa. Yeah.
Do you remember?
What about that brother from Copenhagen?
What's his name?
Ronnie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nusa. Sorry, not Musa. Nusa.
Ronnie Belhadj or something. I don't know. However you pronounce his last name.
I've heard so many. We must.
Lacha will let us know.
Greek kid.
What's that guy from Copenhagen?
They're saying Rooney. Yeah.
Rooney Bell. Yeah.
It's Rooney without the E.
Yeah. There's another one here. Yeah. I've heard about this kid as well. Yeah.
But that's the
onion body.
That's a food.
Mate,
Nah, bro, that's a kid.
Onion Bargy passing to Papadom and he slots it into toppings. Beautiful.
Does Bargy not sound like an incredible baller name?
The way Matisse delivered that as well, that was so funny. Here's another kid that we've heard.
Does Bargy not sound like an incredible last name? Incredible. Sounds like a baller to me. He sounds like he plays in the 10.
What about Mango Lassie? Where does he play?
Sounds like a winger.
Where does Papadom play?
Papadom centre back. No nonsense.
He's not. He ain't cracking. He's not cracking under pressure.
Oh my god,
that's too funny.
It's mad to want all of these guys on top of what we already have. Like you said, if we had not signed any of these young wingers already, and we had some space for more, no problem. But we just signed about 4
million.
40 million.
How many young wingers
signed?
have we
40,
signed?
bro.
No, young, just 40. Just wingers, just young wingers in general. How many have we brought in?
Have you counted Moreira?
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. He was a free though.
Oh yeah, he exists.
He was a free.
We're getting to the point where like, no, that don't count.
Yeah. We don't even.
That one don't count.
Yeah, that one don't even count. Sell him, man. He ain't even that much of a talent, bro. He was free. We already made our profit on the loan fee. Off you go. Done. Let's get that one out of the way. Early doors. That brother doesn't have a chance.
You know, it was only the other day. Who's that guy that went to Huddersfield? Alex Matos?
Yeah.
It was only the other day I realized he was a midfielder.
Yeah, we signed
didn't
him.
know.
We signed him
I-
from Huddersfield. Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah.
No, we signed. Where did we sign him from?
I didn't even know which position he played.
No, yeah, he's a centre mid. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause
I
he's
thought
been
he
on.
was
He's
a
been on the
striker.
bench.
I
Nah,
thought he
he's
was
been
a
on the
He's been
bench.
on the bench for a while.
He's been on the bench.
But you see what I mean? Like, I'm not bothered.
Yeah. Long day. Back in the opposite of wherever Matt says Joe's in. All right, that's fair. That's fair. You want Lukaku back then? Enzo is a Guardiola-esque player. Yep. Mourinho, who's the complete opposite of Pep, is the man for Chelsea. Make it make sense. I'm not Enzo FC, but we all knew the risk we took when we bought him.
Yeah, I don't know about Enzo just being specifically Guardiola-esque. Like we've seen Mourinho use, Cesc Fabregas. We've seen Mourinho have many different technical players in his time, whether it's in Real Madrid, whether it's in Inter Milan, whether it's in Porto. He had Deco. He had Deco. He had Costinha in Porto. These were ballers, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, who do you have in Inter Milan as his
Schneider?
Wesley Schneider was. Come on,
Wesley Schneider.
Come on, man.
Guys, give my good friend Matisse some slack. He also likes Joe's, but he simply can't go against the guy Poch yet. No, it's nothing to do with Poch. If Pep Guardiola became available tomorrow, I'd the first video I'd put up would be sack Poch. I wouldn't even think twice. And I dead ass wouldn't even. I dead ass wouldn't even. I'd probably smile. I'd probably smile in. It would be quite evil of me, but bro, if Pep became available and he said, "I'd like to go to," bruv, immediately the video would be out. The video would be out before I even create it.
Mate, your villain arc would be ridiculous. Can you imagine like Matisse front and center of the Poch out army? Like it'd be mad.
Bro, it wouldn't even be a long video.
Here we go on a free transfer. Matisse.
The video, I wouldn't even introduce myself. I'd say, sack Poch, hi Pep. Video end. Black screen. 5 seconds. Done. It would be a short. It wouldn't even be a video. It would be a short. It would be a short. So please, don't say that. That's very incorrect. Sarri over Jose, he's finished above him with worse. By the way, says Mario.
Look, Sarri's a good shout. I'm not even gonna lie. Sarri's a damn good shout. But the fan base hate him.
Do you know what? Do you know what I can't do right now with this fan base? I can't do polarizing figures.
Yeah, fan base would hate him.
I really respected what Sarri did at this club. Yeah. But a lot of people don't, so I just can't. I can't even do that.
No, but I question where at the time that Sarri came in, let's call it for what it is right now.
Yeah. Different
standards
mindset.
The standards were so high.
Yeah, true.
So Sarri came in and it was like, it was polarizing. But with how far down we've gone, do you think now Sarri would be accepted?
No way. No, not at Stamford Bridge.
Nope.
Not at Stamford Bridge.
Nope.
He would not be accepted. I can tell.
It's hard.
They would not accept him. They would rather accept Frank Lampard the second time.
Facts.
Than accept Sarri.
But third time.
Oh, third time.
And that's true. That's true. If you did a poll outside Stamford Bridge, would you prefer Lampard to come back on a full-time basis or Sarri? They'd all pick Lampard.
It would be a landslide. It'll be a landslide.
Be a landslide, which is very sad. Mudryk is doing well because of Poch. Joes would have thrown him under the bus. He would have already thrown many players under the bus with the lack of patience. Joes would make us worse.
I disagree. With a player of pace like that, I think not just pace, but physically he's strong. I think he needs refining because he's young, but. The profile of player that he is, mate, I think that suits exactly what Jose's system needs. It's always been a fast, powerful winger in a Jose system. Always. I just feel like Mudryk could be molded into that, but this is what I'm saying. Like, there's players of this age now that need to be shown a way and shown how to develop. So Mudryk, in terms of the attributes, I think could work. The Mudryk right now needs to get the basics correct. For being honest, unlike a Sterling who should be at that level already, Mudryk is at a level where he's got all the physical attributes, but technically he needs to kick on, which he's not at the moment.
Mudryk's a really interesting conversation now that Chilwell's back.
It shouldn't even be an interesting conversation. Chilwell is not. It should not be starting at left wing, regardless.
Oh my god, man!
But it is.
I could just about stomach him.
It is
because we won. I could just about stomach the people that said he came on to shore up the game and to close down. Even though I didn't agree with it, and I still don't, because I felt like we could have got the second goal. That substitution was made too early for it to really feel like it was shoring up the game. What minute did he come on?
Are we actually saying Chilwell came on to shore up the game?
Yeah, some people said defensively that was deployed. That was the move.
Now,
he wasn't defensive.
He wasn't defending.
He was left wing alongside.
That's what I'm saying.
Striker.
If he was playing left wing back, I would have heard it. But people were saying no, he come on to defend. He came on.
I tell you when he did.
Yeah, okay, he came on the 77 minutes. That's just about the time. Yeah, you could just about legislate.
Right, he didn't come on to shore up nothing.
But he was making runs. Man was making runs left wing. That's why I didn't get it. If he came on and we went to a 5, like we did when Alfie came on, different conversation.
That's it.
I would have
Alfie came on and said 5. Alfie came on and said 5.
No problem. Colwell goes left centre back, you go left back or left wing back, no problem. And then occasionally you make the run when we're attacking. But he was playing left wing. So I was like, nah, I personally don't understand it. But if he can't start there. Mudryk should have and has come a long way from where he was at the start, because Poch had not worked with him for very long, to now him working with him for quite a while. So yeah, for me, that just can't run. Do these sporting directors have 8-year deals? I don't think they do. No, I really highly doubt they do.
It's an interesting one as well. That one, like, how long is their contract?
They better not, because that's
I wonder how long is their contract.
There's no reason for them to have 8-year contracts at all. What amortization is that? If we lose to Borough, you should surrender your Twitter to some guy for a month. No, we won't be doing that. But yeah.
We know what happened last time when he surrendered.
The last time that happened, this fan base went into meltdown.
Mayhem.
This fan base went into meltdown. I said, "Rah, is my Twitter really popping like that? Like what?"
Skullthurker, he did a madness.
And forget popping. I thought people would have clocked that. It's not me. Like, come on now.
Initially, I was a bit like, what's going on here? Like, when
then after a while, I mean, 3 consecutive bullshits.
Yeah.
Really? I don't even tweet like that. I might tweet once every 3 days. Like, what? I couldn't believe people were buying it. Respect Thabz, but whenever he speaks on Lampard's, it's as if he didn't watch him. Lamps can't pass as good as De Bruyne, but De Bruyne can shoot like Lamps. Inconsistent. That's true. Yeah, there's no justifying Lamps. De Bruyne can shoot like Lampard, but Lampard can't pass like De Bruyne. You can give De Bruyne the pass and you can give Lampard the shot, but don't try and give De Bruyne both, because Lampard is the shooter of this midfield team. The shooter. Man shoots like a striker. He's a striker's shooter. That's how good he is at shooting. He is a striker, basically. 1v1 in Moscow, man's dinking the Van der Sar. Like, it's just, man is just a shooter. It's as simple as that. There is no.
His goal on the left-hand side at the new camp in 06.
Disgusting. Disgusting. Over Valdez, was it?
Yeah.
How the hell did he even do that to this day?
Yeah.
My God. Yeah, inconsistent.
The little dink.
It's also inconsistent to say that Salah's better than Hazard, but Hazard was a better footballer. I keep saying Hazard was a better footballer. So, yeah, it's a long day. Let's all show Matisse love in ancient time. Bruv, I'm not a victim, you know. Why does everybody treat me like a victim today? Is it because you all bullied me last show? It's not over yet, you know. He's not been sacked yet. Shit. In ancient times, the huntsman showered the livestock with love and... you can fuck off. Oh, my God. This guy has lost his mind before the hunting. Before the hunt will be good. This guy's crazy, bro.
You can tell it's a love-hate relationship with
It's like Iceman.
Valon
He's
and
literally going
Matisse.
into the Iceman category. With Alan, he's going straight into the Iceman category. One of our owners are on the Epstein's list. Jesus, 100%. My God.
Is that right?
I hope not.
No,
But
I don't think so.
no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
My days.
But we're acting like it. Yes.
Don't forget we signed that Senegalese guy. Don't forget about him.
Oh yeah, he's another kid.
And we just saw Whispers as well. He's in training. Finally. After all these months, Whispers is in training now.
Dijon mustard, right?
Oh man.
Oh God. Shout out to the Japanese and Ghana youth prospects currently on trial at our youth team this week. Can't wait to see who's. Wait, what? Is this true?
Yeah, there's.
I thought this was a joke.
There was one picture of one Ghanaian prospect who got brought over to take a trial, and at Cobham, and they're having trials. So
on top of the recent African player, the Senegal, another one.
These are these are a bunch of guys that have been plucked out from where they're playing, like in Ghana and whatnot, and they've been brought over for trials. So let's see how you guys are performing before we make a decision as to whether you join the academy. This is for the academy. Wow.
So this whole thing about buying 16, 17, 18-year-old, this is not stopping. This is the plan for Chelsea Football Club and the multi-dimensional structure and feed these kids. Like, this is the grassroots of this football club now.
We are feeding the kids better than Rashford ever did, bro. We are moving mad. We are going to overtake.
I can't see Jose coming here, bro. Like, if I'm being absolutely honest, like Jose's not coming to this, bro.
Todd Bowie is going to get an MBE. So is Egbali. It's going to be insane. These men are going to get knighted. It's the style of football I'm arguing for, not the player technical ability. Give me Sarri, De Zerbi, anyone who can get the best out of Enzo. Interesting. All right. Fair enough. Judge Poch on XG table 5th, not the actual table. He doesn't shoot the ball. Be patient with him. Says Mitchell. I wonder where Potter was in this table.
Are we in a title race in the XG?
No, not yet. But we're
not even in the title race for XG.
But we're getting.
How about on field tilt?
Do you know what?
I don't even understand what that is actually.
It's funny.
Don't even know what that means.
Banter aside, trials is a normal thing. It's just the fact that everything's publicized, which I find so odd. Like, why is that publicized? Back in the day when we used to get, everybody does trials, but why is that news? Why does everybody know that? This is my question.
What's weird and what's bizarre is these are not young kids coming for trials. Not a problem. 15, 16-year-olds coming for trials is, you could argue, a little bit older than the age where trials normally happen. That you bring into the academy for the academy.
You're talking about like 10, 11-year-olds coming in for trials.
Yeah, because now, or even 12, 13, not a problem. 14, okay, because they've got a couple of years that they can sit in the academy, not a problem. But 15, 16, like, the way we're moving right now, mate, last 2 years, they're in the first team.
Well, they won't be, probably, but that is literally last chance saloon, I think, that age. Yeah, you're literally like on the last. I mean, some people do break through at 18, 19, 20, but it's very, very difficult.
Now, if to give context, if this is what we're doing with 15, 16-year-olds, right, and we're not going out and buying all the flipping 16-year-olds we can possibly find, then fair enough.
Yeah. That's why.
If that's how you're getting 16-year-olds in and you're trialing them out and whatnot, okay, cool.
Exactly.
But if you're doing all of this...
and you're buying the 16, 17.
Yeah.
I just worry that we're going to have too many young players in our books at once, and we're not going to be able to find homes for all of them to develop, and then they're all just going to stagnate and just become
Some will be homeless.
Nothing. And maybe one or two might actually make it, but you know that conversion rate will be mad. That's my concern. I think there's got to be a max amount of players at once in each age group, even in the first team. Watch Minerals call on TalkSport. It's good.
I saw that.
Do I want to do a violence thing like Miz? Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because I have to call out the hypocrisy now. regardless of what he said on TalkSport, should he be on TalkSport? Isn't that a platform that you shouldn't be going on? Isn't that a platform that a lot of other people have been criticized for going on, that support Chelsea because you are feeding into the brown envelopes?
I'll be honest, he called in.
But he's on the platform.
Yeah.
Miz, let the people know where to find you. It's been a pleasure.
What a nice segue, huh? Yeah, the other side of the coin, we don't have a match coming up for a little while, so it'll just be, discussions about whatever is relevant. I'll probably put out a video in regards to Jose Mourinho and whatever latest news that pop in later on tonight, UK time, approximately 8:30, 9, perhaps. And then we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow as we come closer to that Middlesbrough game. So,
Younes, let the people know where to find you, bro. It's been a pleasure. What a
Mate,
show.
it has been. Yeah, Younes Talks Football. I've got the latest videos out. There will be another one going into later, whether it's AFCON related and news as well. But there's no Chelsea for a little while, so we will take it from there and see what happens. Younes Talks Football.
There you go.
I think our players don't come back till tomorrow as well. So, yeah. Apparently they've got 3 days off.
They do, yeah. And just to add context here, right? This is a time of day offs I'm okay with.
100%.
Because that's normal. We ain't got a game in 10
days.
11 days or something.
Yeah.
So that's fair enough. It's when we
course.
lose and there's no need to take a day off because it should be training, and then we take a day off is where I get wound up. So
Yeah, no, listen, I'm glad there's a break. 10 days, no matches. I'm about to live my best life. So yeah, guys, make sure you smash up the like, subscribe. And yeah, that has been your show. It's been a good one, man. It's been a very good one. And there's a lot going on. So let's see what happens next. But yeah, 10 days, no game. We will deserve a little bit of a break, and then we'll see. We'll see how they come back, and we'll see what team we have when they return, because surely we have to have more players available when they come back than less. Surely.
You'd think so.
You'd assume. Because Liverpool away is the next Premier League game. FA Cup, straight knockout with Aston Villa. Carabao, straight knockout with Middlesbrough. Big games. I would say managerial defining games.
Yes, attacking just around the corner.
Yes. I would say managerial defining games, really, which is why I don't want to go any further, because the most important stuff is still yet to come. Hopefully we get through it in a positive way, but it's not in our control. Selling Gallagher is a disrespect to the manager's seat at Chelsea more than to Poch specifically. I think it's only a disrespect to Pochettino, yes, because he rates him and wants to use him. Now, I've said it before, and I don't change my mind regardless of if Gallagher's in good form or bad form. I think Gallagher at best is a squad player that you use and utilize in certain moments. I have never been against cashing in on big fees because I don't think he's a unicorn. But I would not do that now, mid-season, because he's important to the manager and he keeps himself available, and we have an injury crisis. And the money's not going anywhere. The same offers we will get now, we will get in the summer. So we can revisit this in the summer. Poch might not be the manager, so maybe it's an easier convo. But I wouldn't do it now. For guarantees, wouldn't do it now, because I just don't see the benefits of selling him now and who you bringing in. So
I think the contract is running out. So
It
you
is,
might
yeah,
not get
it
the
is.
same money.
It is.
You may not get the same money.
How much do you think we get now? 50? I think what we
you'd
got
get
with Mason,
60.
we got good
You'd get
money for
60.
Mason Mount in the final year. I think we could still get good money. I think
Yeah,
enough clubs
Mason-
will come in.
Mason
enough
Mount
clubs
had his entourage.
Yeah, but I think
Pumping
enough
money.
clubs will come in where the price would still be pretty stable. We might lose out on like 5 million, but I don't think anybody would bid 60 now, and I don't think we'd get less than 50 in the summer. I think
Yeah,
I think
people
it'd be
won't
40 I
because
think
they
it'd
know they've only got 1 year left. So
yeah. But
I
I don't
think
think
it'd be
he was ever.
45.
I don't think he was ever worth 60. Like we would want 60 because he was in form, but I don't think he's a 60 million footballer.
No.
Unless
I think
but inflation is a bitch, to be fair. So maybe he is.
I'd say 45 the club would probably accept with an add-on.
Yeah, we'll definitely get add-ons. Add-ons taking it to maybe maybe 60, maybe 55. 55 probably, 10 million add-ons. But I don't think 35 is way too little. We'll definitely get more than that.
Broke Everton were bidding for 40 million for this guy last January.
And now look, they're in trouble. They would have got another points deduction for that.
These Premier League clubs, they got money, man. I can see Crystal Palace, someone like Crystal Palace who, enjoyed Gallagher's time, come in with 55 million. Honestly, I can see that.
Yeah. To be continued. We'll see how the season ends for him and where the manager stands. And then we'll see. But definitely not in January for me. All right, people. Yeah, go on, Miss.
Gallagher under Jose, just let you know, machine. Coming on for 20 minutes, protect the 1-0, go and get the ball and kick it away.
True.
That's it.
True.
That is Jose's style.
True. That's why I said that's why I said at bare minimum he could be useful. He could be as a squad player, could be useful.
Squad player.
100%.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't build my team around him. It'd be
an attacking John Obi Mikel. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Press, disrupt, get the ball, kick it away. Do that at the final third of the pitch, and that's it. Protect the 1-0.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. 100%. I don't build my team around him, but he's definitely got use. Definitely got use for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
But every squad player has their price. I'll say that as well. Yeah. So we'll see. Someone came with an 80 million bid. I wouldn't be telling you no. Do you know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Whereas Hazard, I'm talking about bona fide generational starters. There is no price for me in this prime. I don't take any money for that guy. But yeah. Anyway, guys, in a bit. Big up your damn selves. Peace.